Sometimes, when Emily looked at her father, she felt tears rise without warning. Not the kind that demanded comfort, not the kind that shook the body or broke into sound. These tears gathered quietly, burning behind her eyes, resting there like unshed rain. She swallowed them before they could fall. She had learned to cry invisibly. Even if she hadn't, Daniel, her father, would not have understood why. This is one of many stories shared straight from the heart. Please like and subscribe for more stories that remind us what truly matters. When Emily was small, her father felt indestructible. Daniel was not tall in an imposing way, nor loud in a frightening way, but he carried a quiet confidence that made the world feel manageable. He rose before sunrise, his alarm rarely needing a second attempt. The scent of soap and engine oil followed him through the house. He worked long hours repairing heavy machinery, yet still returned home with energy that seemed untouched by fatigue. He fixed things before they broke. Hinges never squeaked for long. Taps never dripped. He laughed easily, loudly, unapologetically. When he carried the shopping in from the car, he would scoop Emily under one arm as though she weighed nothing at all, balancing grocery bags in the other hand. Efficiency, he would say with a wink. But his greatest talent was steadiness. When he entered a room, something invisible settled. He was the one who taught her to ride a bicycle. Emily could still recall that afternoon with startling clarity. The pavement shimmered under the late summer heat. Cicadas buzzed lazily in nearby trees. She had fallen 3 times already, her knees stinging, small pebbles embedded in the skin. "I can't do it," she had declared, breathless and embarrassed. Daniel crouched down so his eyes met hers. He did not scold. He did not dismiss her fear. "You can," he said quietly. "I'm right here. I won't let go until you're ready." He jogged behind her, one hand steady on the seat. She felt his grip, solid, reassuring. And then, without noticing the exact moment it happened, she was moving on her own. The wind rushed against her face. The world widened. She turned, heart pounding. He was standing in the road, hands lifted, clapping as though she had won a championship. That was Daniel. He drove her to school whenever his schedule allowed. He waited outside exam halls with takeaway hot chocolate. He told her, repeatedly and without irony, "You're my princess." And she believed him, not because it made her superior, but because it made her safe. Time, however, does not preserve anyone in amber. By her late teens, Emily was restless. She mistook rebellion for independence. She chased noise, novelty, distraction. Nights out blurred into mornings. She rolled her eyes at advice. She told herself she had years. Years to apologize, years to reconnect, years to slow down. Daniel noticed before she did. "Where are you going?" he would ask gently. "Who are you with? When will you be back?" Concern felt like control to her younger self. She resisted it sharply. There were nights she returned home long after midnight and walked past him without meeting his gaze. Days she ignored his calls. Arguments in which she weaponized her impatience. Daniel did not retaliate. He did not withdraw his affection. He simply watched, hopeful, steady as ever. Emily would only understand the depth of that quiet endurance much later. He misplaced his keys, repeated stories within the same evening, called Emily by her aunt's name, and laughed it off. Everyone laughed it off. Aging, they said. Fatigue. Harmless forgetfulness. But then he began getting lost driving through neighborhoods he had known for 30 years. He forgot appointments, paused mid-sentence, searching for words that once came effortlessly. One afternoon, Emily found him in the kitchen, standing still, holding a mug. He stared at it as though it had appeared out of nowhere. "Dad, are you all right?" He smiled. "Of course, just thinking." But his eyes looked unmoored. Still, Emily avoided looking too closely. Naming something would make it real. And she was not ready. The truth arrived not with a dramatic collapse, but with silence. On Emily's birthday, Daniel did not call. He did not send a message. When she visited him that evening, he made no mention of it. She told herself she was too old to care, that adults did not need birthday wishes from their parents. But when she finally said gently, "Dad, do you know what today is?" He looked confused, then stricken. "Oh," he whispered, "I'm so sorry." The apology felt like a fracture line splitting through something invisible. That was the moment she knew, emotionally if not clinically. Months of appointments followed. Sterile waiting rooms. The scent of disinfectant. Doctors speaking in cautious tones. Words drifted through conversations. Early stages. Progressive. Cognitive decline. Finally, someone said it clearly. Dementia. The word felt foreign, misplaced. It did not belong to Daniel, the man who could rebuild engines blindfolded, who remembered every detail of her childhood. Emily expected hysteria.
Some symptoms suggest early dementia.
She felt numb, as if watching someone else's tragedy unfold behind glass. Daniel attempted humor at first. He laughed at his mistakes, blamed stress. But dementia is patient. It removes dignity slowly, then decisively. He forgot conversations held hours earlier, asked the same question repeatedly, grew irritated at his own confusion. Then one day, he hesitated before speaking her name. He said another woman's name instead. Emily corrected him lightly, smiling. In the bathroom later, she cried silently, gripping the sink. After that, it happened more often. And then one day, he did not attempt a name at all. He looked at her politely, kindly, as though she were a visitor he wished not to offend.
"I don't know who you are."
You have to remember me.
"I'm sorry, I don't."
That was the day she understood the disease was not only erasing him, it was erasing them. The man who once led became the one guided. He needed reminders for tasks he once mastered, instructions for routines that had been automatic for decades. His confidence thinned. His frustration deepened. "I don't feel like myself anymore," he admitted once, during a rare moment of clarity. Emily swallowed the lump in her throat. "I know," she answered, and they sat together, father and daughter, grieving the same disappearance from opposite sides. There were cruel moments of lucidity, sudden recognition, her name spoken clearly, a smile that mirrored the man she remembered. But they never lasted. Eventually, he no longer recognized her at all. She became a familiar stranger. "Who are you?" he would ask gently. "I'm Emily," she would reply. Sometimes he nodded. Sometimes confusion lingered. Occasionally fear. Each time, something inside her fractured again. Grief arrived long before death. It came in layers. First his stories, then his independence, then his certainty, finally his sense of self. Emily stopped testing him, stopped asking if he remembered, stopped measuring what remained. Instead, she focused on presence. She repeated answers without irritation, held his hand when he seemed unsettled, sat beside him in silence when words became useless. She learned that arguing with dementia only deepened heartbreak. That correction did not restore memory. Somewhere deeper than cognition, Daniel still responded to gentleness, to warmth, to tone. Love, she discovered, was not stored only in the brain. It lived in reflexes, in calm breathing when she touched his shoulder, in the way his posture softened when she spoke kindly. And slowly, her regret transformed into instruction. She forgave her younger self, the impatience, the distance, the assumption of endless time. She became slower, softer, more deliberate with everyone she loved, because she had seen what happens when time runs out quietly. Now, when Emily visits her father, she sometimes still cries, not because she does not know who he is, but because she remembers exactly who he was. He may no longer recall teaching her to ride a bicycle. He may not remember calling her his princess. He may not recognize her face at all, but the strength he planted in her remains. Daniel once promised he would not let go until she was ready. In the end, it was she who learned how to ride without his hand at her back. And even if she is the only one who remembers the man he used to be, she knows. And perhaps, in the quiet spaces beyond memory, that is enough.